performer and having your main goal be to get on Drag Race. It's like I think a lot of people are missing out on the experience of being a part of a drag community.
Yeah, that's totally true because also there's like people who like who they're internet drag queens or
Hmm.
they're internet artists and things like that, and they don't perform or go out or things like that. So you don't like you get your drag is behind a lens,
Right.
whereas
Which
some
is
people,
beautiful, and that's an art form in itself.
and not saying like that is a bad thing, but you also are missing out on that community bond with being in a backstage or working with other performers or working with a DJ to make sure your music works. Like those are
Hmm.
things you miss out on, and like also like you get a different feeling and reaction from people than a heart react than when somebody throws $1 at you.
A
It is
hundred percent.
oh, that is a feeling. I mean,
Talk about something we've learned since quarantine, like just like literally going from I had shows the weekend before Denver went into lockdown, and so it's like to go from like being in a group of your friends and strangers who are like supporting you and are screaming for you and throwing money and all of this stuff, and then the very next week all you can do is like post a picture or make a video and everything. It feels, it doesn't feel bad, but it feels much worse than like the validation that you get from in-person performance.
oh yeah, I've been having very serious like performer like depression because
Mm-hmm.
on top of like fucking just regular depression and fucking life. But like I've definitely had like some like feels about that because it's like, we go from like I did Turbo Pageant that Tuesday before and I actually had gigs at the stud that weekend
Mm-hmm.
and then canceled the weekend and then Monday everything was shut down. So like and I understand like when like things are like taken from you in that sense where it's like you go from being performing for people like every night and being at the bar to now you're at your home
To
in
sit,
your room.
to sitting at home in full drag, like staring at the wall, just being like, I hope people like the pictures I posted, I guess.
Like this video that I fucking spent 8 hours on editing and shit,
Oh, and
and
don't even get me started on the video editing of it all.
it is the most painstaking thing ever in life.
Yeah.
Um, but
Uh-huh.
I love that I have a new skill now. But
It's
you know, I
true.
I wish I was performing in front of people. I wish I was on stage
And
every
you are
single time.
somebody too that like just even just on watching videos, like you are an on-stage presence. Like you are a full touchable experience from head to toe at all times. So I can imagine even your audiences are missing you like crazy.
I mean, and for the right price, you can touch all of this.
Exactly.
I've always been I'm a stage persona person. As a kid, my mom always loves to talk about like how like on family like get-togethers, I would be the kid who would like she'd be like Nick, come dance for everybody, and I like they put on music and I dance for like the family. I was that entertainer kid, so like me becoming a drag queen really not so far off from that.
It
Um,
definitely helps. Like coming from musical theater, I'm like, "Oh, I just put a wig on? Like that's easy." And I'm doing the same thing I've been doing.
and I was like, it's like not so far off from that, and I love performing and I love being on stage. It's one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. Like I love it so much. It's ridiculous.
Well, let's get into that. I love to pick people's brain, and maybe we'll do this in substitute of like of an actual topic. What over quarantine? What are the movies and TV, the media you're consuming that have defined this? When you look back on 2020, you're like, oh, that show was the shit.
Um, the what have I really started? I don't know. I've been watching. I love I love TV, and when I say
Oh,
I
tell
love
me about it.
when I say I love TV, it's an understatement. I like really love watching things and getting lost in other worlds.
I'm with
Uh,
you. This is gonna make a great topic then. Like I love pop culture. Like I'm here for the TV, for the movies. I'm here for the ridiculous awards. I want to know it all.
I I I watch it all. Like honestly, I don't do so much reality TV, but like I watch a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
No, like right now, I've watched everything. My partner it gets mad at me because I've watched everything, and he's like, well, what can I watch with you?
I better be so glad I don't have a boyfriend because like I truly like we would have no shows we could watch together because I'm up at 3 a.m. being like, oh, something came out at midnight. Let me just catch up real quick.
It off. Like I just finished all this shit. I just watched this one show and it was garbage, but I finished it all. It was Tiny Pretty Things or something.
Oh, that's the ballet dancers and there's a murder conspiracy. How was that?
So it's pretty much if you've ever seen Pretty Little Liars and Center Stage, if you put that together.
Oh no, okay.
Like it's like Center Stage meets Save the Last Dance meets Pretty Little Liars, and
Okay.
put it all. It's ridiculous, honestly.
I
The
love
writing
the pulp drama like that. Like I just girls that are being mean to each other for no reason.
and also it's like girls who just like maybe they're mean because they need to eat something. 'Cause you feel-
Exactly.
but I watch a lot of like I love dancing and stuff, so I watched that. It was whatever. But what would I say would be what have I? Oh, I finally was able to watch Avatar from start to finish.
So
And
did I. Okay.
I never finished the original Avatar. I like started it and I think I got just like busy with drag or got caught up with things and I
And just
never
for clarity, this is the animated television show, not the movie franchise. Okay.
the garbage franchise that they did. No,
That there are still 6 or whatever movies coming. Yes.
I mean M Night Shyamalan was never, or was it Ang Lee? I don't remember. It was bad.
It was James Cameron. It was straight up Transformers explosion dude, James Cameron.
The original one, I thought it was.
Didn't he?
I thought it was quiet. I thought it was M Night Shyamalan.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting mixed up. James Cameron did Avatar, like Blue People and the Tree. M. Night Shyamalan did the famously the hated Avatar Last Airbender film.
Yeah. Okay, so the blue Avatar shit, that was fine. It was cool. It was like, and it was experience. Everyone loved it. I mean, I haven't thought about that shit.
Cultural phenomenon. I couldn't care less about it at all.
But people love that shit. But Avatar, I finally had a chance to watch it, the animated series from start to finish, and I like would just put it on while I was doing my makeup, and like it's like it would just be on while I'm painting and blending and doing all that stuff. So I finally watched it all, and then I started Legend of Korra.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, let me watch this. And it took me a second to get into Legend of Korra. It did. Because it was...
It's a big old paradigm shift from Last Airbender. It's like you're jumping ahead, whatever, like 50 years or something, and they have all this technology. And eventually I came to appreciate it, but at first I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I was like, in 50 years you designed the whole city? Like, everyone's
right.
all...
You got cars now?
You got cars. It took you 50 years and everyone's okay with it. Everyone knows how to drive. You have a system. Like,
yeah, we're good to go.
It just would have made more sense if it was more time.
Right.
Anyways, it took me a while to get into it, but I did like it. I was liking the storyline. I didn't get why people were so obsessed with Mako. I didn't.
Well, oh my god, I can't get enough of the Twitter memes that are like, you are not Mako. You are a grown ass man. You are not a cartoon character, himbo. Like, you need to get a life.
I mean, Mako was. When I saw him, I was like, okay, he'd probably be a pretty boy, but like.
And he was clearly drawn to be one. Like they gave him the little curly Q, and they gave him the big broad shoulders. They're like, we're gonna draw a sexy character.
I mean, honestly, he was just Zuko with no spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he was thick Zuko.
He was thick Zuko. But honestly, the real bitch, the real himbo of the season, of the whole series, was Bolin.
Yes!
Bolin was actually the saving grace of that show.
It's true.
I was annoyed with Korra, but I think that's also how they made her to be.
I did think it was cool that, like, yeah, throughout Avatar, like, Aang is like this. He is the center of everything, and is supposed to be like this really likable, fun, carefree character. And then they turned around and they made Korra like she makes bad decisions, like
Yeah.
and is unlikable like a lot of the time. But I thought that was way more compelling.
Yes, but also like I feel like, or are they doing that because she's a woman, and that's like also she's a person of color too.
Never even put that together.
I'm like she's a woman and a person of color. She's the first Avatar that we're seeing like this, and like, then are we she getting this kind of shit?
Hmm.
And like, people hated Korra, and I was like, you know what, like the whole series and stuff, but like, you know, there were some positive things to it. I liked it. Um, yeah, she made some bad choices, but I did love the bending fights, like
Oh yeah,
the
they upped their game as far as the action.
I was like, damn, I've watched this game. This shit is like better than Quidditch.
And that was my big thing too. Was that, yeah, I watched them all in a row. Like it truly like 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, let's go. And just the upgrade of the animation and the fights and everything from season 1 of Avatar to like to Korra was leagues and yards beyond.
Oh yeah, it really like changed a lot, and I was like obsessed, and I was like, okay, this is really good,
Yeah.
and like that they branched it out and like did more with the storyline and get to see a little bit like of what happened afterwards and new characters. So it was entertaining. I liked it, but
Hmm.
honestly, I fell in love with Bolin.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, that's with Bolin. And also remember, Mako is a cop, and all cops are bastards.
See, yeah, that's like that was a tough part of watching it is like I especially after this year, like any cop character at all, I'm like I tense up and I'm like, I don't know. And even watching a show where it's like this is a totally different animated anime based universe that doesn't have like racial context to police forces and everything, I still was having an issue with the fact that he was like law enforcement.
Oh yeah, we'll get back to that about cops and shit because like I love Law and Order SVU and I've like had different like feelings about that. But
Yes.
with like Legend of Korra, I'll just finish this real quick, and I was just like, I really love that show, and it was like, especially Korra, there are queer characters in it, which it was nice, but they do it at the very end. But whatever, it's still nice.
We can't. I know. I was struggling with that too. It's like we can't go back and ask them to go harder on the gay stuff when like it came out in what 2013 when like it was revolutionary for them to look deeply into each other's eyes at the end of the season.
You know, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. That's cute,
Hmm.
and and it's better than them walking off with Mako.
It's
Honestly, like,
true.
I'm like, you know what? I'm fine. I'm just glad nobody ended up with Mako. And Mako,
Exactly. Because
Mako
he overall was just not fun.
was it, and I think that's why they started like writing him off towards the end because they're like, we have a boring character, and
Hmm.
the anyone like, I mean, Nuttuck. Ooh,
Oh
I thought
yes, all the ice capades that he was up to. Oh, so good.
I follow some Twitter accounts that do some like
The porn.
really
Yep.
drawing them, and it is entertaining. I'm like, oh,
Some
wow.
some 4-year art students are really putting in the good work for all of us out here and drawing that good at Legend of Korra porno. Because yeah, no, I I have seen the same cartoons.
And also Earthbenders like are always seem to be like the hottest ones.
Well, yeah, because they're built thick.
They,
So here's my question: Where I don't know if you've taken a quiz or anything, but where do you identify as far as bending goes? Where do you see yourself in that universe?
wow, I haven't taken any of the quizzes, but I'm definitely not there for sure.
Well, yeah.
Like that. I'd probably be. I used to be like, oh, I want to be fire, so I can always like I don't have to worry about having a lighter. Um,
Hey, you know what? That's utilitarian.
exactly. I'm probably Earth.
Right.
I am an Earth sign. I'm a Taurus,
Yeah.
so I'm probably Earth. I would probably be Earth.
I feel like the way that they put together the mythology of that show, a lot of those like with the astrology and everything, they kind of track across. Because yeah, I've definitely personally identified as like an earthbender, and have received in talking with friends who watch the show, that's usually like the group consensus on it. I've gotten a few waterbender recommendations here and there, but I think it's just because I'm like vaguely brown.
Yeah. You're like, oh, yeah, you might be a water.
She's dark haired.
I'm like, no, I think, yeah, I would probably say I'm an earthbender just because also I have like I'm a Taurus and we're stubborn and we have stuck in our ways and
Exactly.